going. In the essay that hi, I'm Gwen again, and this is the third video in this little series I've created on self-care. And in the essay that goes along with this video, I talked about our ability as humans to be able to hold a complex and multitudinous range of emotions, how we can both feel a lot of joy and feel sadness all at the same time. And I was talking about that in particular in relation to the holiday season and my own experience of the holiday season. And how, while I love it, I absolutely love the season from mid-October through the new year. I love so much about it. There is also truth that it can be a really sad time of year for me. I grieve a lot, and even though there's all these fun things and I enjoy doing all the fun things, or at least some of the fun things, it can feel overwhelming and it can feel really stressful. And in learning about our own nervous systems and what our bodies can tolerate, what our bodies and psyches can tolerate, and in learning about how to connect to boundaries and being able to say no to, to the fifth Christmas party of the year, right? Or fifth holiday party, or whatever the thing is that we need to say no to. In all of that, for me, what has got me to the place of being able to really connect to those no's and really understand my boundaries and really know when my system needs some real serious calming and soothing, and downtime, just downtime. It has been embodiment. It has been coming into my body. And what that's looked like for me personally is a lot of somatic trauma work. It has looked like mindfulness practice. It has looked like being really body-centered and curious about myself. And so when I talk about embodiment, and in all my work, in all my circles and my individual work, as well as my own personal work for me, I am talking about that ability to process traumas, that ability to really listen to ourselves and to know what we need, even if we may not have the words for the why we need it, right? And the learning how to honor that, and the ability to forgive ourselves when we can't, or when we don't, or when we choose not to, right? All of those things. And the ability to have compassion for ourselves and knowing that we're human and we're going to fail and we're going to mess up, and that is part of life. Whether we enjoy that part of life or not, is maybe a conversation for another day. But to be able to have compassion, right? There is this idea that kind of floats around in some self-care and coaching circles that I've been a part of in the past, that is this idea that if you just come into your body, right, everything will feel good and wonderful and great and life will be perfect, right? And that's not true. I'm just going to tell you right now, if you decide you want to start an embodiment practice and you're doing it because you want to be free from pain and only feel pleasure and really connect to your joy and all that sort of stuff, that's not going to work out for you so well, right? And the reason it's not going to work out for you is not that you won't get to connect to those things, because you will, right? And as we connect to all of the pleasurable, wonderful, quote, positive aspects of our human experience, we're also needing to be able to connect to those not so wonderful experiences. My family experienced a pretty intense trauma and crisis over this past summer, and it hit me hard. It really knocked me over, and there has been a lot of deep grief. There has been a lot of really deep rage, um, and there has been me really not feeling good in my skin, like really not feeling good or safe in my body. None of that was pleasurable, right? Not any of that. Um, and I felt it, right? And I didn't go out here, right? I stayed in the discomfort of feeling like I want to just crawl out of my skin. And I was able to do that because I've been doing this embodiment work for so long, because I've been able to process some of my own trauma, because I've been able to really get ingrained into my being the reality that this won't last forever, right? Part of the problem with trauma or any sort of stressor and any sort of big emotion that we feel is that when we're in the depths of it, we really get this idea in our heads that we're never ever going to get out of it. When we are struggling with a very intense grief, right? There is that whatever part of us that thinks this is going to be, we're going to be stuck in this place for the rest of our lives. We are going to be this miserable forever now, right? The reality is that's generally not true, right? Generally speaking, grief, rage, frustration, irritation, pain, sadness, right? All of these things that are relatively painful experiences, they ebb and flow. They come and go, right? They lessen and they get more intense. They go away for a while, they come back, right? That's how that works. And when we have an embodiment practice, and when we really are in our bodies know that this too will pass, right? And in that knowing that this isn't really forever, that this will end at some point, right? In one form or another, that it will lessen, right? In that deep knowing of that, it allows us to be able to tolerate it and experience it and process it. So we actually can get to that other place. So we actually can get to that beyond this pain right now. We can get to the quote other side, right? When we stuff down and we ignore and we put on these happy faces that everything's perfect and great and we can do it all, right? We're disconnected. And we're disconnected from ourselves. We're disconnected from our bodies, right? And we're generally disconnected from other people because we're putting on a facade. That's another conversation. But as we're being disconnected from ourselves, our body's going to react. And it's going to get sick. And it's going to get sick in one form or another. And it's going to show up as, any number of stress or trauma responses that our body can have, which can, it can be migraines or headaches. It can be digestion issues. It can be chronic pain. It can be nausea, insomnia, right? It can be all kinds of things, right? So it can show up as that. And it can also show up as actual illness, right? Perpetually having colds or flu or inflammation in our bodies, right? All these things. And so our body's going to respond. We can stuff this stuff down and pretend it isn't there, but it's still there. And our body's going to do something with it one way or the other. So we can either acknowledge it and learn to feel it and learn to process and actually allow it to move out of our bodies and our systems, or we can just hold on to it. And it is a choice. We get to make that choice, right? Each of us. In the self-care circle that's coming up, we will be looking at how embodiment plays into boundaries, how it plays into stress release, how it plays into that ability to be able to truly grieve the things and people and experiences that we need to grieve, right? This is part of it, right? We can be in the happiest time of the year and we can still miss our people, right? I wrote in the essay how my mom's birthday is in mid-December, and she died 9 years ago now. It's been 9 years. And from my birthday, which is mid-October, through through the new year, there's all these little markers that my mom's not here for. And even though we're having fun and we're enjoying other family members, or we're enjoying each other, my little micro family, we're enjoying each other, all of that is true. And I still miss her. And I still wish she was here. And I still take time to cry or to grieve or to note that it sucks. It sucks that she died. I don't like it. It makes me mad. And it makes me sad. And it hurts, right? There are other family members who have chosen not to be a part of our life for a variety of reasons, a variety of their reasons, and that makes me sad. And I grieve, and I notice the absence, and I acknowledge it, right? And so in the midst of fun and joy, I may need to step out and go have a little cry in the bathroom. And that's okay, right? It's okay. It's okay to allow ourselves to feel these things. And it can feel incredibly scary and overwhelming at first, which is why I really encourage a very slow process of embodiment, so that it's not like you're just all of a sudden flooded with things, so that it is this process of really coming into our breath, noticing how our body responds to the breath, noticing how our body's responding to other things. Where is this pain? What does it look like? What does it feel like, right? And really looking into our bodies now. And so we will practice that a little bit towards the end of the circle, towards the end of our 3 months together. And after we have really gotten ingrained in our bodies and our systems, the nervous system soothing, which we need, right? And the being able to really connect to our physical boundaries and our physical sensations, and to start to notice them, right? And to know, oh, they exist, right? And then we can start to really unravel and dig into some of it together. So that is my my little spiel on embodiment and on our circle that's starting on November 1st. And if you would like to join us, and I'd be thrilled if you did, there's a link. If you're in YouTube, there's a link in the little description that will take you to the circle page, the registration page. If you're reading this on my blog, it's down there underneath the embedded video. And if you're reading this in the love letter that I sent out, the link is also below the link to the video. So I would love for you to join us. I would love for as many people as possible to join us. I do have scholarships available. So if money is an issue, I have partial scholarships available. So please reach out to me and let me know that you'd like to join, and you need financial assistance. That's totally fine. I understand. I've been there. I have zero judgment about that. And these are really important tools that I really want to get out there. So sending love, and I hope to connect with you soon.